Alec Baldwin refuses to accept any responsibility for Rust shooting and will fight manslaughter charge. Like, this is pretty crazy, and to put it frankly, Alec Baldwin is pretty much screwed. Like, he might face multiple years in prison because of this. So, disgraced actor Alec Baldwin refuses to accept any culpability for killing cinematographer Helena Hutchins on the Rust film set and will fight his manslaughter charges, his lawyer said Thursday, insisting, "We will win." Like, this is what's so messed up. Like, the lawyer is saying, like, "Oh, we will win." Dude, or chick, whatever lawyer you are, type thing. He killed a lady. He straight up shot and killed a lady who was just doing her job. He's going to go to prison. Baldwin, 64, will be charged with two federal counts of involuntary manslaughter for the October 2021 death of Hutchins. New Mexico District Attorney Mary Carmack at Altweiss announced Thursday. The cinematographer and mom was killed when Baldwin shot a prop gun in her direction that was loaded with a real bullet. This decision distorts Helena Hutchins' tragic death and represents a terrible miscarriage of justice. The 30 Rock actor's lawyer, Luke Nikas, told the Post in a scathing rebuke of local New Mexico authorities. Baldwin was blindsided by the charges, Nika said, and learned the news through the media. Mr. Baldwin had no reason to believe there was a live bullet in the gun or anywhere on the movie set, his mouthpiece continued. He relied on the professionals with whom he worked, who assured him the gun did not have live rounds. Which, by the way, it was also discovered that he had a live round on his belt. Keep that in mind. We will fight these charges and we will win. And the film's armorer, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, who will face the same charges as Baldwin, is also denying responsibility. Hannah is and has always been very emotional and sad about this tragic accident, her lawyer Jason Bowles told the Post, but she did not commit involuntary manslaughter. Now, I don't think she maybe did the involuntary manslaughter, but negligence, yeah, she definitely did that. Bowles called the charges a result of a very flawed investigation and an inaccurate understanding of the full facts. We intend to bring the full truth to light and believe Hannah will be exonerated of wrongdoing by a jury, he said. And Assistant Director David Hawes, who handed Baldwin the loaded gun, accepted a misdemeanor charge and a plea deal for his role in the accident. Now, that was probably the smartest thing that guy did because now he doesn't really have to deal with anything else. Long awaited charges against the three came after a lengthy investigation by the Santa Fe District Attorney's Office. If any one of these three people, Alec Baldwin, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, or David Hawes, had done their job, Helena Hutchins would be alive today. It's that simple. Andrea Reed, the special prosecutor appointed by the DEA, said in a statement Thursday. Reeves said the investigation found a pattern of criminal disregard for safety on the Rust film set. While Baldwin and Gutierrez Reed were both charged with 2 counts of manslaughter, the jury will first decide if they are guilty and, if so, which of the 2 charges they are guilty of. One of the felony charges holds a maximum prison sentence of 18 months, but the other carries a weapons enhancement mandating a 5-year sentence. Baldwin has repeatedly denied pulling the trigger during the rehearsal of a church scene that turned deadly, but an FBI forensic report released in August said the firearm couldn't have gone off unless someone released the trigger. Hutchins' family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Baldwin last year, alleging the actor was responsible for the filmmaker's death, and it was settled for an undisclosed amount in October, which was probably a crazy amount of money. Now, here's the thing, he might be like slapped around for a bit to basically made up an example of, potentially. But I'm thinking that overall, like, even though there's a possibility that he might serve multiple years in prison, I'm thinking instead of prison, he's probably going to get a very lengthy probation period, which is wrong. Like, he should be going to prison for this. Straight up, that's what he should be doing. He should be going to prison. But it's kind of like hard, right? Like, what are you going to do in this situation? Because this guy has so much money. He has so much influence in terms of like the Hollywood elites type of thing that would they actually put him into prison? Like, I don't think he's actually going to go to prison. I think there might be a small chance, but overall, I think his ties to the Hollywood elites, I think the amount of money that he has, I don't think he's going to spend more than 100 days in jail or prison. Like, that's what I think. And it kind of goes to show you like what money can really do for you, right? Money can solve a lot of issues, like a lot. And so if you hire an extremely good lawyer, if you hire someone to really protect you or fix your issues that you've had, you may not even have to go to prison, even if you were to have killed someone. Like, think about that for a second. There's a chance that this guy might walk simply because he is super rich and famous. That's insane to me. But you could also learn from that too. It's like, oh, okay, so if I have issues in my life, or if I do something potentially bad, hopefully not to this extent, maybe if I just make enough money, maybe my problems will go away. It's something to think about, right? Because here's the thing, like, people always say like, oh, if you have too much money, then no one really matters. Like, nothing really, there's no point to make a bunch of money, some people might say. The problem with that is like the money itself isn't really going to necessarily make you happy. You're not necessarily going to enjoy life better because of the money, but your life will be a lot less stressful and a lot easier with you not having to deal with that. Like, just think about that. If you had 100 grand in the bank and making 10K a month after tax, would you really stress about life like at all? Like, for the most part? Probably not. You certainly wouldn't be stressing about anything money related. Like, that would be like the ideal situation for the majority of people. Let's see some of these comments. It's about time that anti gun liberal worm was charged. If any one of these three people, Alec Baldwin, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, or David Hawes, had done their job, Helena Hutchins would be alive today. It's that simple. I agree. Baldwin needs some prison time since he has no remorse and refuses to accept any responsibility. Now, here's the thing, right? It might come down to the judge, right? That might be a situation where this guy's money and famous side may not actually even play into a factor. Because if the judge kind of like maybe is anti gun or something, and also sees that he takes zero responsibility for this, they might lean more towards throwing the book at him. Because this guy literally has no remorse. He has no empathy, no remorse. He thought he could get away with buying off the husband of the deceased woman, which is so effed up. It's like, Honestly, I want Alec Baldwin to go to prison because you ended someone's life. You ended someone's life. That is a finality, okay? Or in like Mortal Kombat, fatality, right? It's done. Her life is done. What she was working on, done. Like there's no more of her. And he ended that. Because this is the thing. This is why I understand like for like murder charges and all that kind of stuff, people should pretty much never see the light of day again. And honestly, I really don't like people getting released after they've committed like a murder because so you get to what? Live a good life now or have the chance at a good life now even after purposely killing someone? Now, here's the thing. I can't say that specifically Alec Baldwin purposely killed her, but based off the situation, based off everyone's like alleged negligence, there's so many factors that have to just like line up for this to have happened, right? Which makes me believe, personally, in my opinion, that Alec Baldwin probably did it on purpose for whatever reason. Can I say that factually? No. But I definitely think that he should be behind bars. Period. Like, you ended someone's life. Which, by the way, side note, I randomly saw like a fatal car accident, right? Today. Where a Prius, someone who was driving a Prius, was probably looking at their phone and just crashed right into the bed of a semi truck because they weren't paying attention and didn't see the semi truck pull into the intersection, and they just crashed windshield first into the flatbed of a semi truck. So there's pretty much no way that individual survived because of how deep it went into the flatbed. And this is the thing, you gotta understand like, humans are weak. Humans are weak creatures that have the chance to live a long life. When you end a life early, you have potentially caused so much damage. You've destroyed so many people that might have been affected by her in the future, right? Like, because you didn't just end her life in that situation and like affect all the people that she had an effect on at that time of her life, but you also removed all possibility in terms of who she will impact for the rest of her life because she doesn't have a life anymore. She's dead. Crazy stuff.